I guess it was triggered maybe by articles that I read in the paper about ethnic fighting. And I made detailed drawings of this dance. The idea that it's not by becoming all the same. People are fighting for their own identities around the world. So there's something about recognizing the identity, but having the identities collaborate and compromise. Not in the sense that you're betraying yourself, but in the sense that you have to make room for everybody. And to make room for everybody, you have to move over a little bit. It's just, there's no other way. And the idea was exactly what I got to do, which was to get everyone to dance together, but everyone in their own vernacular.
There's a holy mission, I believe, in the arts that allows people to kind of transcend the senses, through the senses. You find out who you really are through Buddhism, and when you do that, you find out that you really have a natural goodness inside of you. You become peace. And that's how we believe in Shinyo-en. We can attain world peace through each individual finding that mind of peace that exists within them. The Homa is a purification ritual. And then in Shinyo-en, we created what we call a Saito Homa service to add one more element. To add the element of wishing to have world peace. And for people to actually go to the ritual and to feel like they're part of the ritual through the sight, through the ears, just through their prayer.
And we're in this room and we just started brainstorming. Everybody, what is this ceremony about? It's about world peace. Oh, I have something. How about that? And I just opened my drawer, my mental drawer, and just said, this is something I've been dreaming of. What do you think? Would that fit? And they totally loved it. So in a way, I knew exactly where I was going, but I totally didn't know what it was going to look like. Let me see what happens when you put 12 people of different cultural backgrounds together and try to make them move together. This is going to be a great opportunity to even find out if I've got something or if it's a total mess.
My name is Ryoko. I'm represent from Shinyo-en. And the most important part of the whole project is the harmony. So harmonize with everybody and each other, and finding out who you are and who they are, and just sharing your experiences.
My name is Kusalin. I'm a traditional Azteca Chichimeca dancer. I have no idea how we're gonna make this work.
Indian dance has a lot of footwork. It also has mid-body movement and a lot of expressive storytelling aspects. So I'm really looking forward to collaborating with all of you and exploring all these different aspects.
Rosa Garcia, and I've been doing folklorico for more than 15 years. And I'm looking forward to this experience. I have no idea what I'm going through yet, okay?
Hi, I'm Richard Chavez. I was born in Santa Ana, like Rosa. I work out of Long Beach and San Diego, all through Southern California, and I look forward to this experience.
My name is Lucia Chukhri. I'm from Moldova, country of former Soviet Union. I'm very close to Middle Eastern culture. I study Middle Eastern dance, start with dances of Islamic world as Central Asia. It's Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan.
This is the first time I've done my style with other styles and have seen new styles and things like that all in one. So it's almost seems, it's not traditional at all, but it is what's needed.
I'm Marissa LeBog. I'm actually breaking in this dance, break dancing, but we call it breaking. And it was really an expression that was derived from the lack of something. So it was the lack of dance classes, the lack of space. So a lot of the movement came from just personal expression and wanting to express who you are and what you're about. And so I think that breaking really brings that element into this.
My name is Filipos Haile. I'm representing Capoeira. It's an Afro-Brazilian dance and martial art. It originates in Africa and it came over to Brazil when the slaves were brought over. I've come to appreciate everybody coming together and learning from each other. I think people can really learn a lot through each other's culture. If you don't have a culture, you're going to be lost.
When I was about 11 years old, I began with Afro-Caribbean. And from African Caribbean, it kind of just grew into West African dance. I tapped into it and eventually performed with a professional company and just kept growing from that point on.
My dance, not so much of a dance to me, it's actually a martial art. So what I'm performing in the show is Chinese martial arts called the Wushu. It was kind of a hesitant step for me because never dancing before, it was certainly something that I wanted to expose myself to, but didn't really want to cross the line from being a martial artist to become qualified or classified as a dancer. So it was a hesitant step, but when Marie said that you could actually perform your martial arts skill, then it became another chance to present myself in the community, so that was important. And then of course, because it was tied with Buddhism, I wanted to involve myself in that.
Sometimes you confront with difficulties, but you just go ahead to share that also.
Yes, it should be difficult because you're all completely unique and you have been trained. There is something about things that are ingrained in you since you're 3 or 4, whatever. You have been doing this. It's in your body. It's just like a culture is part of you. It's part of who you are. And now all of a sudden, you have to change the pattern also. You have to go beyond what you know, what you've been trained to do forever. And that is kind of the peace process too. And we just have to embrace that difficulty and say, this is exactly what this is about, and we're going to go forward and make it incredible.
You have a concept, but until you really have the dancers there, and you can start with a concept, and then you have to let the dancers work with it for a while and see what comes out of it. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So it is a living, breathing thing because, you see something, I'm like, you know what, I like that better than what I thought it would be, so maybe we should keep that. And as you see the whole group moving, it's one thing to see it in your mind. When you see the whole group moving, then you get additional ideas. And the talent that they brought, things that we didn't even know. They started to create things with each other that we didn't know was possible.
Well, we started with actually sharing all of our different styles, which was really fascinating, and then kind of connecting what we do with other styles.
I think each culture has slow movements. I'm going to put you in a circle with a partner, okay? And I want you to travel there 4 counts of 8 slow movements, okay? Like for you, I got the idea because I was watching that flamenco tape that you gave me and all this, like that. So that's what I want to see from you.
Marie, Fabienne, and Janelle have done an excellent job of respecting our culture and our ways of dancing and our techniques, along with putting her ideas in it. So instead of doing other dances where it's like, okay, your arm has to be here and you have to do this move and then this move and then on this count, it's been more, okay, I want you to do something to the left or to the right or up or down. But then yet, if like there's times where we do jumps. In my culture, we don't really do jumps. That's, traditional. So she allows us to modify it. So it's that flexibility that makes it so interesting.
And you get up on one. Now, I need some kind of cute little step going in and back out. Some nice little step, 8 counts, 4 in, 4 out. You don't jump, you don't do anything, you just, something 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back out, 8. Okay?
I'm learning a lot, and part of the beauty of growing as an artist is learning from other artists around you. So sacrificing what I know to come and learn from others, that's been a pretty beautiful aspect of it all.
Did you see the part where they were like two countries and stuff, they get together and they do similar moves, and then it's like they kind of come together as one, and yet it just all intermingles. And then, you know, the girls get together and the guys get together. So it's like there are different ways that we can connect.
And it's amazing how many coincidences there are and how many different vocabulary, how we all have the same voice, which is really amazing that we all have come together. And I mean, like Armin, who does the Russian dancing, I mean, we connected right away because so much of what we do has that power in it.
You know, the whole interaction between Roma and Richard, the flamenco dancer, was just unbelievable, you know. And sometime in rehearsal, I would just see them come on fire, and how they would interact and how they encouraged each other and helped each other and talked about each other's rhythms and how do you hear this and how do I hear it, you know. It was just you know, they grew.
The fear of trying something new, of letting go of what you're used to, that process of breaking down that fear has happened in this show. Because, you know, we've been doing this particular style of ours in our own way for a long time. Now when we come together, we have like 3 counts of 8 and, you know, 2 minutes, 1 minute to show whatever you need. At that point, what do? Do we sit around and say, well, I'm going to need this much time to show off my expertise? Or do you know your roots really deep enough that you can create what needs to be created within that 1 minute?
And we needed actually a lot of cooperation and peace to get through this dance together with so many different styles. It could easily be distracting and overwhelming, but a lot of us took moments of stepping forward when we had to and kind of just being quiet and watching and listening. And that cooperative process is in the piece, and hopefully that can translate to others who get to watch it.
The vision is the choreography here, and the vision is Marie's vision. But how the whole process came about was like, you know, like saying, you give a skeleton and then you start putting things to it, and how it turns out, nobody knows. So we feel like, you know, the skeleton is there, but everything else outside has come from each one of us. So it's each person's creativity that has given shape to the whole project. That's why when we go there, we don't feel like we're dancing somebody else's piece. It's like we're dancing our piece.
I knew I wanted not only to have a unity, but I also wanted to find common threads. That was really interesting to me. So I started to make a list of, you know, what could go together. The flamenco and the Indian and the folklorico could go together. They all have footwork. Let's develop that. You know, the breakdance, the capoeira, and the martial arts all have acrobatics. Let's put that together. Those feminine hips, you know, all these women using hips. So at first I wanted to do that hip section, that feminine, just 3 people. And then I thought, no, I think it's really great to have a moment with all women. My responsibility was to have an arc, and to have an arc that made sense from beginning to the end. And my other responsibility was to showcase what I had, what life had given me, and to really make each culture shine, and then to make them shine together. Because what I have to show is how much fun it is that you are good and I am good, and to be good together.
She draws the best out of us, but at the same time she gives us the room to improvise.
I kind of think the dance had a mind and a life of its own. I don't really think any of us came in prepared knowing what was going to happen. And when you have that much energy and that many people, it's going to take a life of its own.
There's going to be taiko drums live, and there's Dan Morris who does intricate composition in between. So I have yet to see the whole thing together because we're working piece by piece. Today I think we're going to put everything together.
No, this is about world peace. In a way, we have a before and an after. Before is what we call the chaos in the world, the non-peace that exists. So we want to convey that part first. So how can we do that? through the dance. And that's how Marie helped us to come up with some concepts about dances and people pushing other dancers off the stage so people can see the current state of the world.
Many of the gestures that I use in dance, in ancient days, the Hindu tradition, the tantric worship used these gestures. So I'm actually worshiping the whole universe with my body when I'm dancing.
In society, it's a mix of so many different cultures all in the same community. And yet sometimes they don't get along, or they have stereotypes and they stay away from each other, but yet in this group, we all kind of come together.
If you watch the performance, we're all actually trying to copy each other and learn from each other, and some people are putting other people's dances in their own performance, which really shows how they're linked and how people can really learn from each other.
Most people would say, okay, a martial artist, a capoeira, Hawaiian dancer, Russian dancer, all so different globally, culturally. I mean, you could look at our costumes and see that through your eye. But when you see the close resemblance between the body styles and movement, there's a basic simplicity that is all together. And that is what I believe the whole concept of the choreography is to show.
People make requests on a piece of paper and they make a donation. This is a donation they make towards world peace, or they make some requests, some personal requests, for example, or a purification. And those are actually placed in the fire. So that represents the purification of people's particular delusions that they have that they want to purify. And that continues actually after the ritual, because there's thousands of these requests that come from all over the world, actually, not just the United States. We hope by the end of the ritual, when the fire dies down, when the fire is very calm, that's the point where we want people to also feel that same calmness in their mind. And that's the meditation. And it's on that meditation we want people to have the prayer of world peace. It becomes very strong at that point. And everybody praying together for world peace at that moment is what actually can create world peace and get people excited to do something in real life towards having world peace.
And they are bowing to this fire as the world, recognizing that we need healing. And I told the dancers very early on in the process, I said, you are not standing alone. Behind you stands all of Africa, all of India. You represent nations, you represent entire continents. You have to really move and dance and attend the ceremony with that weight on your shoulders. This is what's behind that vision of that dance, is to delight each other and have fun and go, oh my God, you can do this, I can do this, let's play. The better you are, the more the play is going to be dazzling. And so that was just my job, is to get this out there, you know, to make it come to life.
Well, it's just the people are amazing. I mean, like, even just sitting around and talking to each other and understanding where we come from is just so beautiful. I mean, it sounds a little cheesy, but it really is, we are coming together as a family. So I think that that's been something that is the best part of this whole process.
Nothing compares to the beauty of an individual person sharing who they are, what they are, and allowing them to touch you. I mean, each person in that room is so unique and so beautiful, and I've gotten to go and kind of like create these brand new beautiful friendships that I didn't even anticipate. You always hope you can get along with who you're working with, but you don't always get the guarantee of having friends after. So the fact that I can walk away with that, it's pretty amazing.
People realize that there must be a way to have harmony, but they don't know how to do that. And we wanted this dance plus the ritual to show that there is something that can help people go beyond that step of not knowing what to do.
I think the simple concept of just understanding. I think we first come into the dance showing how we're individuals, and it's amazing how when there's understanding, how we no longer are individual and kind of become a little bit more like one.
People putting more energy towards arts and through their own culture definitely gives them more opportunities to learn from each other and less time to worry about how to exploit each other and take advantage.
And I took that image again. They get into a line and quickly they hold hands, and now they're doing that same step they did at the beginning, but they're holding hands. And I thought it'd be great because it'll really help them feel each other in terms of rhythm and that sense of unity. We can achieve this together.